All right, but to wrap it up, UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. We had Tatsuro Taira versus HyunSung Park, Flyweights. This one, he did not waste any time, Taira. Immediately in the first round, 2 big right hands sends Park to the ground. Complete control and domination on the ground. And then he picks up where he left off in round 2, puts him right on the ground, works his submission, cranks on the neck, and he gets his submission. Second round win. Extremely impressive. What'd you make of this one?
Very impressed, but was it Park or Parks? I want to make sure I'm...
It was Park.
Yeah, Park. You know, he Park. I'm sorry. Excuse me. You have to excuse me. That was... I couldn't help it. That was just too easy. That's right there. Talk about layups. But first of all, started off. Gave me a little look at his striking. He's balanced. His feet are under him. He's explosive. He's got fast hands, and he's in position to punch, and he's got good eyes. What does he do? He times a right hand over the jab of Park, and he scores with that, and then what does he do? First, like I said, he notices that Park's throwing that jab a little too slow, a little too close. He times it with the right hand beautifully, hurts him. And then what's he do? He steps, takes a little step up, follows Park a little bit, and then he leads with the right hand before Park could get off again and hits him with another clean right hand on the chin and drops Park, gets him on the floor. So his striking ability right off the bat caught my eye. I was like, wow. Now let me see if he can do the other stuff, which, of course, most people already knew because he's been around the block a little bit, even though he's only 25 years old. And that's part of what I'm so impressed with him. He's only 25. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected. And then he gets the takedown in the second round. He gets him on the floor, and he shows those skills. Whether it's grappling, jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it, and then he gets the choke out. I don't know the exact technical term. You might know it for exactly what the hold was at the end. But all I know is you don't have to be complicated. He choked him out. He got the choke, and he tapped him out. Very impressive. I was watching the way he worked at getting position with his legs, with his hand placement, on the floor. Even the gamble, the nerve, the confidence to when he was on top, when he was piggybacking him. And then he took him to the floor and took the risk, which Brisbane even pointed out. The great Brisbane pointed out those commentators are so good. They really are. UFC, I don't think there's any better. But he went to his back. He fell and hit his back, taking him down. But it was a calculated move. It was the right move. He knew he could do it. And then not that long after it, he gets the submission. Everything I saw about Taira is just, it yells at you, future star. It just screams at you, future star. And he beat an undefeated fighter, and we know if you're undefeated, even if it's 10-0, you're undefeated in the UFC. You've been tested a little bit because everyone gets tested. There are no gifts in the UFC. Everybody gets put in. And the last thing I'll say is that I think his one loss served him. His last fight, his one loss to a solid UFC fighter. A
Brandon Royval. Yeah, absolutely.
A top guy, bud. I think that's what I like. I think that's when a loss becomes a win. Sometimes you got to lose to win. And that's what the young fighters, the young managers, they got to understand that sometimes in boxing now, especially, we're too afraid to put the guys in where instead of being like a 80-20 fight or a 90-10 fight or even a 70-30 fight, where it becomes like a 55-45 fight. We're afraid to do it, even though it's going to benefit the fighter. We say, yeah, he does need to get tested. Yeah, he needs to get that fight under his belt to let him know he can depend on himself. But you're afraid to do it because you don't want to get a L. because you think it's a death sentence. It's not a death sentence. It's a life sentence. It's a sentence for life. To have more life afterwards, to be better, to have a better life, to learn things that you can have a better life, that you can be a better fighter with, to learn what you have to learn at that time to be the best fighter you can be, to get questions answered that you haven't had answered yet, that the fighter, it don't matter what the trainer thinks, it don't matter what the manager, what the promoter thinks, the fighter has to think, yeah, I can depend on myself. Yeah, I belong at that level. And you have to take a chance at the right time to get, it's a L versus a W, but really it's not. That's just visual stuff. That's window dressing. What really matters is what it does for the fighter. That experience, even if he gets an L and he's competitive and it's a good fight and he learns what you want him to learn, it's not really an L. It's the fight that's going to get him over the hump. It's the fight that's going to get him to the place you want to get to. And I think that Taira got the benefit from his last fight where he got his first loss. I think that showed in this fight. It has helped make him a complete fighter where he's ready now. He's ready now for all the big boys.